They just won't freaking just give in. Do whatever it takes. Like on this Facebook group that I'm running for this challenge, it's like I've changed it. I said, no complaining. I don't want any complaints. Because other people read complaining and then they attach their emotions to it. I'm not adapting and I gained 6 kilos. And then the other person goes, me too. And they all start writing that to each other. This is not a support group for complaining. So I say to everyone, okay, I gained 6 kilos. That's cool. Does anybody have any tips on like just how to deal with stress? You know, because I want to do this. So I decided to change that Facebook to Monday through Friday. It's a discussion day. I don't like these Facebook groups where they just vomit out whatever's on their mind. This is not a place to complain because it's not going to help anyone. So everyone on that particular wall is like, it's like, okay, we're going to talk about, today I wrote, we're going to talk about what foods are approved and what foods are not approved. And let's see what people think. Because some people think that these are approved foods and these are not all. So it creates a good discussion. Like if this whole group were discussing keto right now, it'd be very interesting to hear what you all think, or your impressions, or if you're trying it for the first time, your impression on it. Like, is Steph making a really good impression or is she making a bad impression? But then you would collectively hear other people's impressions. Like, well, I've struggled and I'm gonna keep going because this many good things have happened. So that's what I encourage people to feel or think about doing this lifestyle. So things like the depression, like these subjects I could just talk for years. You know, your serotonin is the balance hormone, your sleep hormone, all these things become like this because blood sugar goes like this, and then like this, and like this, and then stress, and then your liver, kidney, your colon can't like detox flow. So we get depressed because our cortisol is high, and that pushes down our serotonin, right? Because your serotonin, a lot of it's made in your gut. If your gut's not working, nothing's working. So when people go on keto and they get off of the processed carbohydrates, they notice their mood starts to stabilize a little bit more. But then they're like, but I really miss, like, you know, whatever, I really miss my chocolate, you know, and then that thought gets into your mind. Or you go to a party and you're just like, God, I'm the only one eating this way. It's so like this. And that's how people feel. It's embarrassing. I'm eating this weird diet where you get a lot of fat. Like, are you crazy? You're gonna have a heart attack and get real fat. But if people actually just shut out the noise and slowly allow themselves time to let it start to kick in, your mood will balance because your blood sugar is not shooting up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. All of a sudden, serotonin production goes back up. It's amazing to watch so many people get off their SSRIs, which is the antidepressant pills. So, and then I talked about the growing muscle. I need to go on to the next slide. Okay. So some of the stuff I've already mentioned. Sleep is number one. So how do you do that? So a lot of women in particular will come home and then they'll start working it like it's a whole new day. No, it's not. It's one day. 5 o'clock, start relaxing, right? Sun goes down, you start going down with the sun. You have to ramp down when the sun goes down. And if you don't know how to do it because you have children or whatever it is, or things or events to do at night, find a way. Because if you're just focusing on the food, you're not going to adapt. Oh, I got my macros perfect. Why aren't I adapting? I'm like, because just relaxing in your evening, breathing, because we don't breathe. Like I said, we're like this, and then through our nose, we're just not like relaxing. And I start food prepping and start to change habits and like get an audio book and listen to that before bed. Don't sit in your bed and read, because reading requires cortisol to like wake you up so you can focus your eyes on the page, even though it makes you sleep. But once you get to sleep, you don't stay asleep because cortisol is now back on its way up when it was trying to go down. That's why you don't read in bed. You give yourself enough time to stop reading and then listen auditory. Don't watch things. This requires focus. And our hunter-gatherers, if you slept outside, you wouldn't be, looking at things with bright light. These lights tell your brain it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon at nighttime, and that's the reason why people who think they sleep well because they have adrenal fatigue, they fall asleep because they're exhausted, but they don't stay in a nice deep REM state cycle throughout the night. Okay, so I talked about getting the 200 grams of fat. How do you get it in? I don't know what the big deal is on like how do you get it in so hard. Basically, you could put it in like teas. People are like, that's so weird, but people who have a GAG response to fat, it's a very small percentage. Blend it, and then drink.
What kind of tea?
Herbal teas, so anything that does not have caffeine. So we've got mints, and we've got like rooibos, and we've got dandelion, and ginger, and lemon, and chamomile, and cinnamon, vanilla.
Butter in them?
Huh?
Do you put butter or cardamom?
Both or either. It's just a way to just stick it in there. You know, it's awesome. And I do it so much, I don't even notice the fat in there anymore. I'm just like